The man was suddenly stopped by the police. He then showed his ID, but they roughly detained him and forcibly searched his backpack. Not wanting to get into trouble, the man complied with the orders. However, after checking his bag, they noticed something on the man and he showed them a military knife on his waist. They were startled. He explained that he had an official license for ownership, but they confiscated it anyway, deeming it an illegal weapon. Suddenly, they swung their batons at him, but he managed to avoid every blow. Annoyed, one of the officers drew his pistol. Finally, he was forced into the police car. At the police station, the interrogation began violently. Without a word, the police started beating him and torturing him with a taser. This treatment ignited his anger. He headbutted the officer and kicked the taser away. At that moment, a young officer walked in and stopped them. The angry policeman backed down only when he heard that the police chief wanted to meet the man. The police chief looked at his ID, realizing that the man was a recently retired Special Forces soldier. The police chief instantly lowered his tone. He immediately ordered them to remove his handcuffs, return his belongings, and even invited him to his office to apologize. The man didn't want to hear his nonsense. He noticed the expensive liquor and flashy collectibles in the office. It seemed the chief was just as corrupt as the rest. Sure enough, as he was leaving, he whispered a threat. "This city is under my control. You'd better keep your mouth shut." The man remained silent and left. As he exited the room, he met a woman he had seen before in a restaurant. He watched her entering the police chief's office. The woman's arrival was only to pay for protection money, but the police chief had other plans. Under his threat, the woman couldn't fight back. At the same time, the man realized his iPad was left behind at the police station. When the man returned to retrieve it, he caught the police chief harassing the helpless woman in the corner of the room. As a soldier, the man refused to stand by. He gave the police chief a cold stare. The officer was enraged and told him to take the iPad and leave. The officer's anger flared. The man quickly grabbed his hand and broke his finger, then knocked him down with 2 punches. As he was about to leave, he grabbed an ashtray and pulled out the telephone cord, took the woman's hand, and walked out. Just as he left, a police officer walked into the chief's office. When the officer realized what was happening, the ashtray was quickly thrown, knocking the officer unconscious. The sound alerted the other police officers. He wrapped the telephone cord around his hand, rushed into the room, and subdued all of them. He disarmed them. He planned to take the woman out through the back door, but he accidentally barged into the office of 3 other jerks. He pushed the woman out the door and launched a perfect combination of attacks, leaving all 3 sprawled on the floor. Another police officer tried to attack him with his baton, but the man's fist was faster than the stick. He finished off all the police officers who stood in his way. When he reached the exit, several police officers were smoking. He walked casually, helped one of the officers light his cigarette, and asked for another one for himself. Then he walked out of the police station with a lit cigarette in his mouth.